on today's video, Edward of Woodstock has been revealed. We're gonna go over his skills, understand this commander a little bit better, why he is a change in the game that we've been seeing slowly and steadily in commanders that I really like, and of course, why I will be investing in him next. Everything and anything Edward in this video, so sit back, slap a like on the video, and enjoy. YouTube, welcome back to Gekko Gaming. Today, Edward of Woodstock has been revealed. He was posted in one of Rise of Kingdom's social media posts, whatever, and it spread like wildfire, and now it's all over the Facebook page, Twitter page, Instagram page, whatever the heck not. All of them are up. Edward is out. Let's talk about his skills first. Why I really like this commander, what is changing in Rise of Kingdoms that we're seeing in these commanders and in the way these commanders work, and why I really like the path Lilith are taking with commanders, even though these are only legendaries, which means it's going to be very hard to max them out. But still, let's start talking about Edward, the Black Prince of Britain. He's an archer versatility skill commander. Versatility pretty much out the window, so archer skill commander really. Archer's Honor is his first active skill, rage requirement of 1350. I really like the fact that they're putting the rage requirement on the skills. They did have it in the past, but some of these things were a bit obscure. We didn't really understand how much rage you gain per hit and things like that. So you can really do the math by knowing how much rage requirement you need per skill. Deals massive damage factor, 1500 and 750 when he is a secondary commander to a single target, and gives a 100% chance to reduce rage of this commander's troops by 300 after this skill. The wording is a little funky here, but from my understanding, what this means is you decrease 300 rage of the army that you hit, not of your own army. So this commander's, it would probably mean the commander that was being hit, I'm assuming. And one more thing that is very important to point out is that all these skills are at level 1. So I don't think that the damage factor for as a primary commander will move too much. We might see it go up to 1800, 1800, which is the top amount of damage factor we've been seeing out of commanders. But I think the secondary 750 right there is going to go up quite a bit, maybe to 1000, even 1200, which is something I really like. I really like the fact that commanders now, the skills are also affected as a secondary commander. So it's not only the talents that you got to think about, but also whether putting Edward at the front or at the back is relevant based also on the damage that you want to get done. So pairing him with someone like YSG, for example, having this guy at the front wouldn't be the biggest of deals, considering he has the skill tree, which will be very beneficial for YSG. He's an archer, very beneficial for YSG. And the fact that he has some of his skill that is decreased by being a secondary commander now means that having him behind YSG is probably not a good idea, although there are some places where you can play with him to put YSG at the front, depending on what you're trying to do. Vengeful Crusade as a passive skill, increase archer's unit health by 10% and march speed by 10% while on the map. Again, these are all level 1 skills, so I'm hoping this goes up to 30%. March speed for archers has been a real killer. There are certain march speed skills. You have Herman has a little bit of them going on. You have El Cid having a little bit of them going on. But you really want to have these legendary commanders with YSG with as much march speed as possible. And now Edward is a fantastic trade-off to El Cid because of not only his amazing skills, but also the fact that you're going to get that extra march speed, which doesn't require you to lose substantial amount of troops to get that skill to cast. And so this is another reason why I'm loving this guy and why I will pair him with my YSG, hopefully sometime in the future. Cressy's campaign, I apologize, I can't say that word. Passive skill, when an army is led by this commander, contains only archer units, increase skill damage by 5%, increase damage dealt to infantry units by archers by 1%. We've seen these types of commanders in the past. Genghis Khan is a fantastic example to a cavalry version of Edward. a commander that is solely made for archer marches, which has not only huge skill damage, which you have skill damage 3 and extra skill damage, plus imagine putting Mr. YSG in the back with 1700 damage on his first skill plus 1500 on this guy. You're gonna be doing so much damage as archers. Adding on top of all that, you finished using the skills and you have the turns of the fight, which is most of the fight is about the actual fight rather than the skills that you're casting, because skills are casted every some rounds. The damage dealt to infantry is increased, so now there is a counter to the tank that is Richard as an infantry commander, and massive damage will be done to the infantries as a result of this skill. I'm hoping that we will see it go up to maybe 8% skill damage and 5% damage dealt to infantries by archers as a 5th skill. Now, a 5th level, and I will say this right now, I have not seen the final levels of each of these skills. I'm strictly guessing and speculating. Do not take my word for the numbers of the levels of the skills into your decision. This is a strict estimation. I'm assuming, assumption, I guess a better word. Limojis, I don't know. Ambush, sorry, another word I don't know how to say. Passive skill. When the army led by this commander is at 70% strength or higher, increase the attack of archer units by 15% and decrease defense by 10%. I don't even know what to say about this, because I'm thinking about the implications of rallying with this guy, thinking that nowadays rallies are broken up at about 50%. When the rally starts going below 50% of its size, people tend to cancel it just to not take as many losses, restart the rally, regroup, and do it again. But having him now might actually change the meta to, once you drop below that 70%, it's time for us to go. Because as of the first skill, 15% attack is nuts, Now, the biggest problem here is you have a decrease in defense, which means you're going to get dropped below that 70% much faster. On top of that, the fact that cavalries are very predominant leading troops in the game, and they counter archers, the likelihood of you getting melted by cavalries can increase dramatically when you're above 70% strength, and that thing is hitting you hard. I still do like this commander very, very much, and this skill very much. It just means that you have to pay attention more to what you're doing. You cannot just send the march or send the rally and forget about it, because these skills require you to keep an eye on what's inside your march or inside your rally and how much health is left on it. Final skill, All or Nothing, is a new skill. Another commander with a new skills and expertise that increases normal attack and counter damage by 2% for 50 seconds after using a skill. I don't know if this stacks. I don't know if this doesn't stack. 50 seconds after using a skill means that once you use the skill the one time, you're pretty much set to have this active the entire time. The reason for that is usually it takes between 6 and 10 rounds for a skill to cast. And so 6 to 10 rounds, let's say that it's 6 to 10, it is 6 to 10 seconds. But if you consider, I don't remember exactly if the counter attack is considered as a second. So we'll pretend for the sake of argument that it's 12 and 20 seconds per skill, which it's not, but still, even then 50 seconds is way more. And it gets to the point where you can have this active, march on the field to hit somewhere else, and then get this active consistently at all time. 50 seconds is a lot. 50 seconds is a lot. I'm not entirely sure whether or not I like it, because I feel like 50 seconds is way too much. It means that as long as your march has hit something for a few seconds within the last minute or so, this is active, and so you're doing a huge amount of more damage in counter attack. One of the things that we're seeing commanders shifting into is normal attack, archer attack, and so forth and so on. Long are the days of commanders who you send like Genghis Khan, Minamoto to only do insane amount of skill damage, while all the cavalries do in the background is gain rage so the commanders do the damage. Commanders are shifting back to be what they should be. Commanders are supposed to be, in my opinion at least, the guys that make the troops stronger. They add damage with skills, but ideally what you want to get done is to the point where your marches, where your troops are the ones doing the damage, which means the skill level that you have, the technology level that you have, the types of troops that you have are very relevant, because now they are the ones doing the massive damage rather than the commanders themselves. Up until very recently, you would really see that commanders are the ones doing a big brunt part of the damage, while the troops are the ones who are just there to hype up the commander. It needs to go the other way around, and I believe Lilith have been starting to make strides into that, and we'll see a lot more of that now that equipment is coming out, which will enhance even further the stats. It is time for the game to start thinking about troops and the damage the types of troops are doing, the type of civilization that you're picking, because civilizations do give you different stats for different types of troops. I love it. I am going to go ahead and say that this is my next commander. I don't know how you unlock him. I am estimating and guessing, and this is, again, 100% an estimation. If I had any information, I would have hashtag Gekko leaked it. But again, an estimation for me is 2 legendary commanders coming up, Tamaris and Edward, meaning one is going to be Wheel of Fortune, one is going to be Mightiest Governor. That's my thoughts on it, at least. I don't know. I'm hoping he is the Wheel of Fortune guy, hopefully, or else Mightiest Governor is going to be a real pain to get him unlocked. But I am not spending any legendary commander sculptures until I have them, and he is my next guy. Why should you think about him as your next investment? What ended up happening lately in the game is that after Lost Kingdom 1 ended, well, through Lost Kingdom 1 and towards the end of it, the meta in the game changed towards an archer-based meta. We've seen a lot of work by YSG and El Cid, a lot of archer rallies out there, and people to this day think that the meta remains in archers. Now, the meta shifted very, very, very quickly when Alexander came out. When Alexander came out, the infantries became relevant again. The infantries are the guys really doing the blunt work. If you have someone with an Alexander Richard maxed out, that is by far one of the strongest, if not the strongest rally out there nowadays. You're seeing a few other combinations out there on the top tier in the game. Freddy and YSG with full archers, we've seen quite a bit. A little bit of YSG and El Cids are still out there. A little bit, I've even seen a YSG and Richard, which I'm not a really big fan of in terms of rallies. But anyway, he is shifting the meta back in the favor of archers, in my opinion. In my opinion, having Edward with YSG is going to be what's going to be the biggest and strongest next thing. And it's going to be what breaks Alexander and Richard. And so this, again, is a shift in the meta by Lilith, saying infantries, now archers. Back in the day, it was a lot of cavalries. Now, archers, in my opinion, are going to be the next meta. Once he comes out and we get him and people start maxing him out, you're going to be seeing him on the battlefield a lot. He's fantastic. I like him. He's a great pairing for YSG. So yeah, what are your thoughts on this commander? Leave me a comment down below and let me know. I don't know. I love him. I can't say anything bad about him. I could say maybe, you know, there's a couple of typos in this, but not the biggest of deals. I'm hoping that my interpretation of the first skill is correct, that we're reducing damage of the enemy. He does massive amount of damage and reduces rage. Just nuts, 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 nuts. Again, what do you guys think? Leave me a comment down below. I'm Gekko. I'm out of here. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, slap a like on it, subscribe to the channel, and of course, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Discord, all in the description down below. I'm active on all of them. Go follow me, message me out there. I promise you, you'll get a response. Thank you again for all your continued support. Thank you for being such an awesome community. Lost Kingdom videos are coming. Trust me, Lost Kingdom videos are coming. There is a lot of them in the making, so you really don't want to miss out on them. Until the next time, you guys have a great rest of your day, weekend, afternoon, whatever time you guys are watching this video. Take care. Peace.